Dear friends, I'm extremely glad to be back to my alma mater after a quarter century. So 87, I joined this institution in 87 and I was sitting here like a student like you. I'm really excited, so glad to be here. A few minutes I just want to talk to you about examination. So that's the most important thing as a student. That's what you're looking for, your final exam, and how you're going to fare in your final exam. That is going to matter everything. Your final degree, your convocation, that is what you're looking for. When the results came, there were different categories of students. So some went to the notice board or through the online and they saw the results, and some found that they had failed in the exam. Some found that they passed in flying colors. Some found that their marks were so low. And then when these students were asked, we found that some fellows who were studying so hard, they were working so hard, they were sincerely studying, but still they failed. Then when we had a closer introspection, we found that what they studied was out of the syllabus. They didn't study things that were given in the syllabus. They studied something else and they failed. There was another batch of guys, they didn't bother about exam. They just simply enjoyed life. They didn't study anything within syllabus or outside syllabus. They too failed. And then there was another group. So they concentrated, majored on the subjects, on the syllabus portions which are not important. Unimportant subjects they concentrated, unimportant topics they concentrated, and they too failed. And some of them, they couldn't score reasonably good marks. But there was another batch of students. They concentrated on the syllabus. They majored on the topics which are important, and they passed in flying colors. Friend, I'm talking about a final exam. So wherein you are supposed to stand one day before God. And at that time, the same thing is going to happen. The same results that is displayed on the notice board or which comes online. So you're going to see there. And if you are a person who is going to concentrate those important topics within the syllabus, then you are going to pass in flying colors. If you are a person who's just whiling away time, enjoying life, you are going to definitely fail. If you are a person who is just concentrating on things which are of not importance, then also you are going to fail. So, dear friend, what are the important things which matters there in eternity? When one day, all of us sitting here, after 100 years, nobody is going to be here. All of us, one day, we need to stand before God. And at that time, so sooner or later, we all are going to move ahead and meet with our God. At that time, what is going to be important? What is He going to ask? If I don't have a hand, is it a hindrance for going to heaven? Obviously not. If I'm having a serious sickness, is it a hindrance for going to heaven? Obviously not. If I have cancer, can I go to heaven? As if I die of cancer, I can still go to heaven. If I have a financial difficulty, and if I'm living in a poor circumstance, can I go to heaven? My poor circumstances is not a hindrance for me to go to heaven. But then, what is going to hinder me? If I'm living in sin, that is definitely going to hinder me. I may have a physical sickness outside, but if I am having a cancer inside of unforgiving spirit and lustful thoughts and bitterness and anger, if that is in my heart, when I go before God, I'm going to be disqualified because my unsettled, uncleansed anger and sins and lusts and all these wrong addictions, that is going to take me to hell. Internet pornography and whatever, all that is going to take me to hell if I have not repented and taken those things seriously and set it right before God. But my all other earthly circumstances, even if that doesn't change, that doesn't matter. So we need to concentrate on the important things, what matters there. So dear friend, dear young man, dear young woman, Are you serious about your life? Jesus loves you. And Jesus wants to have a relationship with you. You may be in a circumstance where there is a lot of religious activities going on. But in the midst of that, I just want to ask you, I was like you, one among you, 25 years back and later, people used to tell, he's a good boy. But then, in the depth of my heart, I knew I was corrupt. I was full of evil thoughts and lustful thoughts. And I was an actor before people. And then, one day, I came to realize I can't go along like this further. And I committed my life to God and said, Lord, I come to you as a sinner. I don't have anything to hide. Adam, where are you? God asked. And then in the similar way, God asked me, Santosh, where are you? And I said, Lord, here I am. I'm not going to run around those fig leaves to hide. I just come to you as I am. And when I came to him as I am, acknowledging that I am a sinner, God forgave my sins and I entered into a relationship with God. And since then, I started concentrating on these major things, and I found those things which were pulling me down, my evil thoughts and my evil deeds and my evil attitudes, my bitterness and my anger. I was a person who used to get angry and throw plates when I got dishes which I didn't like at my home. God changed me, and God gave me a family life. Since 1995, I'm married. God changed me by His grace. So we don't quarrel, and we are peaceful at home. My children, they too are happy to be in our home, and that my life has changed, and that's how I have a hope to go ahead. And friend, you might have a PhD, or you might have, you might reach out and grow up to be a CEO of a company, but that doesn't matter. But your relationship with God, and if your heart is cleansed by the Lord, and if you're walking in the light in relationship with Him, that will take you there. I just want to briefly mention about one young girl and then just wind up. I want to say about a young girl, 15-year-old girl. She was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, a tough bone cancer, in December 2011. And then she was admitted to CMC Vellore for treatment. Her parents were with her throughout 1 year. She battled with this disease. She was undergoing high-dose chemotherapy. And during that time, in the midst of those tough situations, she used to, without complaints, without irritation, she used to go through that, and she used to spread the light of love and life to those other patients around her. And she loved the Lord. She had a relationship with the Lord. And she had no complaints to her parents. She loved and honored her parents. She loved her Lord. In the hospital bed, she read through the Bible. She underlined passages from the Bible. And she wrote on a piece of paper, I stand on the solid rock. All other ground is sinking sand. And then she came back home, but God chose to call her home, call her to her eternal home in November 9th, 2011. And her parents were so sure that she has gone to be with the Lord, because she was, just the day before she passed away, she was so sensitive about her relationship with the Lord. And she asked her mommy, I want a particular dish which was not available there. She thought it was there. She said, Mommy, I would like to have sambar. And then mommy was so much involved with her sickness and all that. And she said, she was a bit concerned that it was not there. And immediately she sensed that, by saying that, am I some way hurting? Am I not sensitive to my mother? And she immediately said, Mommy, I'm sorry. That's okay. Whatever. Give me. The next day, she went to be with the Lord. She passed away. And I'm talking about a girl. And this girl, she's this girl. And her name is Shekinah. And she's my daughter. She's my daughter. She's my eldest daughter. And she went to be with the Lord. And we miss her very much. We miss her very much. We love her very much, and we miss her very much. But I know that she is with the Lord. I know that she has gone to be there to the place of the Lord whom she loves very much. Friend, eternity is real. I too find eternity real. In our home, we find eternity real. Are you ready for eternity? Are you concentrating on the major things which matters in eternity? Or are you just seeking on the earthly things? Colossians 3 verse 1 says, set your affection on things above. And if you're not clear, the next verse says, not on earth. Set your affection on things above. Concentrate on things above. Concentrate on things which matter in eternity. And then you will not regret. You will pass the final exam in flying colors, and you will be delighted to stand before the Lord. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord prepare you for eternity. God bless.
I know the reaction from this crowd, from this audience, will be a mix.